Here's one you don't see every day, and I don't think I've ever seen one of these before. I have seen plenty of the solid state 150s or 200s. I can't remember what they are, but I don't think I've ever seen a GB 100 bass, not in person anyway. So this one's going up for sale, roostercb.com, used and specials. This thing kind of acts like a great big modulator the way it works. I'll do an output test of it, try to go over everything. We'll demonstrate on max, high, medium, and low. It's a 4-position, but it's a really small little amp. I mean, here it is compared to my Uniden 66, and it is a bass amp. It runs on 110. So tempted to keep this one if it doesn't sell. Price is going to be pretty good on it because I've never seen one before. So if you say the price, you're like, oh man, that's a little bit high for what that thing's doing. The price isn't because of the power it's doing, it's just because of what it is, and I've never seen one before, so I'm considering it a fairly rare little amp. And the way it works is pretty sweet too. Somebody that wants like a modulator style amp, I think you'll kind of like the way this thing works. But here's a look at the front of it. Again, there it is next to my Uniden. It's very small. Haven't had the lids off of it, but 2 transistors, I believe. Preamp doesn't seem to work. It actually makes the receive go a little quiet. Pretty common. Sideband seems like it's kind of hit or miss. But we'll get into the output of it here. So we're going to put about 35 watts PEP into it. I think we're dead keying about 1.5 watts to 2 watts. And we'll just start out over here, 250 watt slug. We're going to be looking at the top scale here. So let's zoom in. Let's see, turn our dead key down a little bit because we're on max, so we're dead keying a bit much. So there we go. Let's just say, what we're going to call that, 60 watts. Hello, audio. Hello. And it'll audio to about 80 average. Hello. That lower tone, it responds to a little better. Or a real high tone. Anything in between, not as much. All right, so PEP here. Hello, audio, 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 audio. A little bit over 200 PEP. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wild key it up now. This won't hurt the switch or anything. So wild keyed up, we're at max. So you guys see 60 watts. That's high. Hello, audio. Hello, audio. I'm still swinging about 75 average. We'll show you PEP. Hello, audio, 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 audio. Still swings almost 200 PEP. Now what we're going to do is go down to medium. You can see it's keying nothing. So high. They've got that thing padded down pretty good. All right, so what I'm going to do, guys, to show that there is an actual difference between high, medium, low, and max, I'm going to roll our dead key up a little bit on the high position. Let's go right there. Now I'm going to go to medium. See how it dropped it down a little bit? And then low. Hello. Low, it goes down to basically nothing. So low, medium, high, max, which that's way too much on max. 100 watt dead key is way too much. But just know that if you have a radio that dead keys a little bit higher power, you know, and it's making your little gray 200, if you end up getting this thing, if it's making it key too much, you can always back it down here and you don't lose a whole lot of swing. So we'll go to low power, show you guys what it does. PEP. Hello, audio, 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 audio. So see what I mean when I'm saying it's acting like a modulator? Basically, all it's doing between these switches is turning the dead key down. We're really not losing much PEP power at all. This is medium. Audio, 1, 2, 3. Audio, 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 audio. The PEP stays about the same. Now, the average, it may come down a little bit. Zoom back in here. I mean, that's medium. That's low. So on low, the average power does come down to about 50 or so, you know, versus on max. Let's turn our dead key back down. Ooh, 75, 80 on max. But it's a nice little amp. It works good. Again, preamp, sideband. I'm a little iffy about the sideband. I didn't have a sideband radio to really hook up to it and test it. Preamp, I can tell you for sure, is not working. But other than that, it's a pretty cool box. It's old. So keep that in mind when you buy it. I mean, it is an old amp, but I have never seen one of these before in person. Now, somebody may come in here and comment and tell me, man, I've had 100 of these. Well, maybe because you've had 100 is why I've never seen one of them. Like I said, I've seen I think they're calling them a solid state 200 is what they call them. Gray 200, solid state 200. I've seen plenty of those. I have never seen one of these GB 150s in person. So don't mind if I keep this one. Would be really sweet little amp to run into like a, like a 4-pill 2879C if you were talking transistors. If you were talking like a tube amp, it would loaf like a 2-tube 500Z, something like that. So I could actually use it myself on my ground plane. I've got a little 2-tube 500Z I run sometimes, and running my Yaesu into it right now. I've ran a 1-pill 2879 into it, but this will be really good with like Cobra radios and stuff. Even stuff that's a little bit lower output than the Cobras. You could run this guy, be a sweet little driver. Call it a modulator, amplifier, whatever you want to call it. It's an amplifier that acts kind of like a modulator. So let me know what you guys think. If you've ever seen one before, let me know about it. Tell me about it. Good, bad, neutral. If you're interested in it, it'll be on roostercb.com under used and specials. 100 solid state. This one actually has a transformer in it too. That's the difference, big difference between it and the 200. The 200 has that toroidal transformer in it, which I thought was an aftermarket thing, but come to find out they were putting them in them from the factory, or from the assembly line, whatever. But this one has a real transformer in it. Actual, like a traditional transformer, I should say. 100 solid state, GB 100. Thanks, everybody. Rooster in Tennessee, roostercb.com. See you, bye.